Starting a business is probably one of the coolest things you can ever do in your life. It's also one of the hardest, probably one of the most stressful. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it's harder than having kids. So, how do you actually start a business from scratch? Here's my tips for you. Hello and welcome to another Mic Drop Monday. If it's your first time here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next Monday's video. My name's Samantha. You can find me online as Socially Sam. And this week we're talking about starting a business because, as we've discussed in the past and as I've wrote about so many times, freelancer is growing, self-employed is growing, the numbers are on the increase all the time. And unfortunately, we're in a market of job uncertainty, so more and more people are turning to start a business. That also means that more and more people are taking really stupid advice, incorrect advice, and thinking they need to reinvent the wheel. You don't. So here's my tips for starting a business completely from scratch. Okay, so I'm not talking about like buying a business here or setting up something like a shop or a factory, like big businesses, that kind of thing. I'm talking about the little business, you on your own, working from home or working from tiny little premises or working from an office on your own, that kind of business. So the teeny weeny small freelance style business. So number one is to plan. Now somebody very famous once said, if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. And this is it's so true in so many things in your life, but obviously business is really, really true. You don't always necessarily need the big business plan, like the type that the bank would ask for, because if you're just starting out a teeny weeny business, you might not need to borrow any money. So a business plan as such might not be your thing, but you do need a plan of where you are, where you want to go, and how you get there, because basically it's like going on a long drive, isn't it? You won't get in your car without knowing where you're going, or at least what direction you're going in. So this is, you want to take your business in a certain direction, so you need to know how you're going to get there and the steps you're going to take along the way. So it might even just be a tiny little plan, like build a website, get some social media presence, contact X amount of people a week, you need X amount of sales. Always know what you're aiming for, because if you go sort of wandering a little bit aimlessly through business, that's kind of preparing to fail, and you probably will, because it's really easy to fail in business. So plan a bit more, but also make sure the plan is fluid, because you are going to have to change it. Don't think that just because you set a course you have to stay on that course, but you still need to work to a plan. So number two is to work out what you can do and what you can do well that other people are going to be willing to pay you for, okay? But also know your market. So it's all well and good saying, oh, I'm really good at making cups of tea, for example. I know it's a really bad example, but it's all well and good being really good at something, but are people going to pay you to do it? So there's loads of things I hear all the time, amazing business ideas, but I also know there's no money in it. So you have to know your market. Something can be a fantastic idea, but essentially there could be no money in it. It also could be a really saturated market. So that's why I say you have to know your market. It's like when I first started out doing social media and social media management, there was hardly any of us doing it. It was so new, and now it feels sometimes like every man and his dog is suddenly a social media manager, because they've had a Twitter log on for longer than 20 minutes, so they think they know how to manage a business social media when they've no business experience either. That's besides the point. So it is about knowing your market and knowing, will whatever you want to do sell? Are there people that want to buy it? But also, is it too saturated in the market? Is it going to be too difficult to get a sale? And yes, there's always the excuse of you're different, you're not somebody else. There's all kind of things. But just bear in mind, if it's a saturated market, that means there's loads of people doing it. There's loads of people doing it badly. There's loads of people that will undercut you. There's loads of people that will devalue you. There are people that will stab you in the back. There are people that will contact your clients and try and steal your business. That's what happens when you're in a saturated market. So just make sure you know your market. Number three is to sort your money. So this is what, again, I see so many people going wrong, that they think they're just going to start this business and magically start earning loads of money from the off. Chances are you won't. It's really, really hard to make a living wage when you're first starting out in business. It can be really hard years down the line because things can happen. So always make sure you know exactly how much money you need, what you need to live off, what you need to feed yourself, what you need, do you need to pay for childcare? Do you need to pay for office rent? Do you need to pay for travel? All those things. Know your numbers down to the last penny, because when you're pricing jobs, when you're knowing how much to charge, that is going to be a factor of how much money you need to live off and how much money you need to keep your business going into the next month. And sometimes it will feel like there isn't enough coming in. You need to prepare for those times as well, and make sure you've got perhaps a little bit of a backstop to help you through the more difficult times. Also, when you say sort your money, it's to sort your pricing. I've seen so many people of like really undercharge you for social media services, and it's because they don't value their own time and they don't value the work that they do. So appreciate the value of what you do, know your own worth, and know what your time is worth, and be prepared to say no to jobs that aren't worth your time. Number 4 is to start marketing. Now, you may not have a fully formed business yet, but actually you need to start marketing yourself, because when you're really small, one-man band, freelance style business, essentially people are going to buy from you. So you could be offering exactly the same service as what 100 other people in your local area are doing, but what people will be drawn to is you, your ethics, your integrity, your personality, your likability. People are going to find, if they like you, then they're going to get to know you, then they're going to get to trust you straight away. Then that's your barrier to sale overcome. So it's really important that even when you don't have a fully functioning, fully formed business or even a service to sell, start marketing yourself. Get yourself some social media presence, set up a website, even if it's only just like using your own name as the domain name. Interact on social media, start building up a little bit of a following, start going to networking events, just get yourself known within your local area. It might just be that perhaps you don't do local business, or perhaps that's not your target market. It doesn't really matter too much. You can build a bigger, wider presence, like, if your business is worldwide, you can do that online, but actually going to local networking events will just get you in that function of meeting people and telling people what it is you do or who you are, or just mixing with other business people as well. It'll all just be a huge start for when you take that leap and having to have something to sell. Number 5 is to find help. So I'm not talking about the help as in hiring someone or getting someone, to like do your office work or do other jobs for you. I'm talking about finding mentors, finding business buddies, just finding other people who are perhaps in the same boat as you, or perhaps a little bit further along in the journey than you, that can help you, that you can just have chats with, that you can perhaps have a little mastermind groups with, again, networking meetings, all that kind of thing. Because sometimes, like, businesses come with huge amount of problems. That's why I say sometimes they're worse than kids. Like, things will be thrown at you all the time throughout your business life that in essence if you're a first timer into business, you have no idea how to deal with some of these things. And honestly, when you're dealing with clients, things will come up all the time that you just go, I have no idea what I am doing here. You literally will be like, I don't know what I'm doing, somebody help me. So it is really important to surround yourself with other business people, get yourself some business buddies, and find yourself a mentor who can help you grow and go further. And number 6 is stop playing small. And this is when I talk about going to networking meetings and mixing with other business people, kind of be careful here about who you surround yourself with. And I've made this mistake a few times. Basically, there's a car alarm going outside, shut up. I made this mistake a few times about going to business events or group meetings and that kind of thing, and all the people in there are playing small, as it were. They're basically working for pocket money. It's a part-time business or it's a side hustle, and there's nothing wrong with those things. But if you're in a full-time business, if you're wanting to grow a bigger business, if you're creating a full-time income for yourself, if you're like me, I'm a single parent, I'm the sole income into my household, it's up to me to provide and to pay for everything. So if I'm comparing businesses or having business discussions with people that aren't in that boat, I'm not thinking big, I'm playing small. Don't be afraid to pitch for bigger jobs than you're ready for. Don't be afraid to mix with like companies and business owners that are turning over millions when you're like, oh, I wish I could even get to 10 grand. Like all those kind of things. Always aim higher than where you are with the people you want to surround yourself with, so that you're not still fishing in the little pond. You want to be out in the big wide world, in the big seas, mixing with the big players, and that's then what you can aim for. If you want to be big, you've got to mix it big. Stop playing small. Thank you for watching this week's Mic Drop Monday, and I hope you found these tips useful. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share it with someone that needs to hear this message. Please go and follow all my other social media channels. No following me in the street because that's just creepy, and I will speak to you again soon.